A very warm welcome to BookFlix Live, episode number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really inspired by the way I'm getting love and support from all of you, from all the people around who are watching live, who are watching later. It is because of your love and support that I'm able to broadcast today's episode number 6 of BookFlix Live. It is because of your love and support that I am able to take it forward from the first episode till today. And I'm sure with your love and support, we will take this platform of BookFlix Live to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode would be really unique. I had shared a story in my Facebook, on my Facebook profile page, wherein I have mentioned that today's episode is going to be really unique. Yes, I promise you that today's episode is going to be very unique and they will be full of learning today. Let me take your permission to park for a moment here and share a story from my life, a real life story, a real life experience, which has really made a remarkable turning point in my life, which has actually impacted my journey throughout my career. I'm sure you will love to hear about it. I'm sure you are interested to know about this real life story, which has actually transformed the way I act, which has actually helped me to transform the way I act, and I became really smarter in terms of taking actions. I started becoming a smart action taker. Yes, I started becoming a smart action taker ever since I had experienced this particular moment. Are you interested to listen to this story? Of course, you are, right? So let me start by saying that it was a profound experience in my beginning part of my, I would say, college life. When I was at 11th standard, one day in my class, I was just, solving a problem of my mathematics subject. Right. So I was just working on that particular problem and I was enjoying the particular work. I was actually in the flow. So naturally, what happens when you are on a flow, when you are enjoying the work, you forget the world, you forget what is happening around. I just, keep on focusing on solving the mathematics problem. So I was just working on and on and on. I was just writing and solving, and I was just continuing my work. Excuse me. Suddenly, from behind, the professor, just he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "Hey, Mr. Bro, you're enjoying to eat your lunch, I know, but you forgot that your stomach is full. You forgot to stop eating even if your stomach is full." Did you notice what I shared? What he was trying to mean actually was, ladies and gentlemen, he was trying to mean that the question that has been asked for that particular problem that I was working on, I was supposed to stop that particular, work at that stage, and I was not stopping it. In mathematics, if you have learned mathematics, all of us, we go through mathematics, but in the 11th standard, 12th standard, what happens is that, sometimes the question is asked halfway. You are supposed to stop your work halfway, and your work is done, and you get a full mark. And there is, sorry, there is another way of asking the question that, you are supposed to solve the full problem, wherein from end to end, maybe, you need to solve the problem, which will take maybe 1 page or 2 pages. But sometimes you are supposed to stop at half the page because the question is half question. Your question is not a full, to solve the full problem. Maybe the question is to solve some part of the problem. And as per the question on which I was addressing to, when I was answering to that particular problem, my work is done, but I was not stopping there. I was just continuing and continuing. I was going on and on and on because I was enjoying and I was on the flow. So, that was such a important experience for me, that actually became a turning point in the way I look at my actions ever since. Sometimes at life, what happens, friends, is that you are enjoying what you are doing. Probably you are getting good results from what you are doing, and you are really motivated. You are positive and you are inspired, and you keep on doing what you are doing, isn't it? Can someone of you relate to what I'm saying? I'm sure you are able to relate to what I am saying. If you look back to your own life, your day-to-day life, there may be many experiences wherein you are on a flow. You just forget what is happening outside the world, what is happening around you. So that was the experience for me. And what I actually understood from that moment is that sometimes it is really important for you to park, to take a break, and reflect your learnings, what you are going through, what you have learned, or what you have achieved for that matter. Even if you are achieving and you are doing really well on your work or on your profession, it is important to take a pause and reflect. And that actually changes the game. What happens is that many great experts say that what took you here won't take you there. Probably whatever you have come so far is because of what you had been doing, and more importantly, how you have been doing, on what you had been doing. But in order to go to the level where you want to go, probably how you had been doing so far will not be good enough. You need to do something more or something smarter. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the very moment when you need to take a pause and reflect. Reflect on how you had been doing, and reflect on what is the learning, and reflect on, is there any way to do things better? And you will find a lot of answers, a lot of practical answers when you start doing this. When you take a pause, when you reflect, and when you ask these questions, you will get a lot of life changing answers. Ladies and gentlemen, what I have learned from my mentors is that life is all about asking the right questions to yourself or to others. If you ask the right questions, you will get the best answers. If you do not ask the questions, you don't get the answers. And if you don't get the answers, probably you will be stuck. So, what happened after that is that, it made a big learning to me. It made me think that probably when we are on a flow state, when we are enjoying what we are doing and what we are forgetting the world, and at that moment, it is important to take a pause and reflect upon and take the learnings and make our actions much better and smarter, use better plans, use better strategies, and accelerate in life. Ladies and gentlemen, believe you me, this is what exactly I had applied time and again on a continuous basis, on a consistent basis throughout my career. And that has given me amazing, amazing results. And that has actually helped me to do much better things in other fields of my life, on other areas of my life. Why I am sharing this particular experience of mine? There are two reasons for this. The first reason is, ladies and gentlemen, it is a powerful learning, and this is the platform where I share the practical proven formulas. And That is specifically the reason why I'm sharing this particular learning, my important experience of my life's journey. The second reason why I'm sharing this particular experience of mine is, ladies and gentlemen, on BookFlix Live, we have come some way, some distance. We have covered some distance, and we have completed 5 episodes, and today is the sixth episode. Ladies and gentlemen, if you actually look at in the last 5 episodes, we have gone through a lot of powerful strategies, powerful stories, powerful learnings, powerful takeaways from the very inspiring and very amazing successful people like Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary and Mr. Joaquin Birze. And there has been a lot of ideas, a lot of powerful, strategies, tricks, human behaviors, EAPS, positive EAPS, negative EAPS, behavioral continuum. We have heard many new terms. We have heard many powerful real life stories, transformational stories, stories of celebrities, tennis players, stories of Wright brothers, stories of Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary, his own life, isn't it? So, if you actually look at, you are just putting in all those ideas and transformational stories into your brain. I think it is time for us to take a pause. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to take a pause and reflect on those learnings, on those powerful ideas and powerful proven formulas, and actually look at what are the few things that in actual practical way we can apply in our life so that we take real benefit of it. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, this show called BookFlix Live is not an entertainment show. It is not about sharing a lot of interesting or entertaining things. It is not about a performance. It is not about how to showcase how bro speaks or how bro performs on this live show. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole and soul objective of this particular platform called BookFlix Live is to impact or to give you or to develop a platform wherein the aspiring youths, the aspiring mid-career professionals, the aspiring business persons to get some powerful practical idea so that they can move forward in their career, isn't it? So today I decided, ladies and gentlemen, that we take a pause here. We reflect upon those powerful ideas and powerful concepts and powerful stories that we had gone through in the past 5 episodes of BookFlix Live, and look at what are the 3-4 things or 5 things that we can actually apply to our daily life, our professional life, our personal life, so that we can actually get benefit of this particular platform. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I had taken this decision. That is why I have called today's episode a very unique one. Yes, when you do the pause and reflection, the term pause and reflection itself tells that we need to go little slow today. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it will not be a 100-meter race. Maybe today we will go on a marathon way, but definitely we will touch upon some of the powerful life-changing strategies, tricks, and powerful ideas that we can apply in our words in true sense. Sorry, we can apply in our lives in true sense, isn't it? What do you think about this? Please do share on the comments. I would like to hear your suggestions and comments. There is one way. Why I'm saying is that there is one way of listening to all those ideas. There are some people who loves listening, who loves learning. They're learning. They're putting those ideas into their mind, into their head. They're just moving. Probably they are not reflecting upon, they are not looking at which is the best way to implement those best ideas into their lives so that they can move forward in their career, so that they can do better on whatever they had been doing, maybe on their personal lives, their relationships, or their career or business or job. And there is another set of people, maybe they learn little, maybe they learn little, but they apply better. Ladies and gentlemen, life is not all about having the great ideas or big ideas. Or for that matter, life is not about becoming the most intelligent person for that matter. Life is all about how do you execute. Life is all about how do you execute those ideas in the best manner. So there are some set of people who executes better, right? So these are the people who excels in life. These are the people who make a lot of impact in this world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I have seen in my own life. This is what I have seen in my research of past 15 years on the people who have achieved extraordinary success in their lives. So, my dear friends, let's park a moment today and let's reflect on some of the big learnings in the past 5 episodes. So, I have requested Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary and Mr. Joy King Birje to give us time for 2 episodes. Today, ladies and gentlemen, what we will do is we will pick up some powerful real stories that they have shared. You know, this book called Life Without If, this book called Life Without If, is very unique. It's unique because of the reason that apart from having a lot of big concepts, proven concepts, based on the researches of many people who have been able to make a lot of impact in this world. Apart from that, the beauty of this book called Life Without If, the book which has been the Amazon bestseller for some time. The beauty of this particular book is that it gives a lot of focus on how to implement those ideas. So from this book, we can see a lot of great stories in this book. Every single story carries some powerful life-changing ideas which actually we can apply in our words, in our lives. And once we apply those in our lives, our life can really change. We can really make a transformation in our lives. It can really create a turning point into your life. So today we will pick up some of the most powerful stories that we can see in this particular book, right? So we can go through those. So we will go through those powerful stories because I can promise you that every single story that I will be going through today, I will not be reading this book for that matter. I will be just speaking from my head, from my heart out. What I have captured from Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary, what I have captured from Joy King Birje, I will be picking up some 4 or 5 powerful stories. I'll be talking in a very, very crisp and concise manner so that I don't spoil a lot of time. I'll just give a gist of the stories because our viewers also would have gone through those episodes. So you will have the top of mind awareness of those stories. So I'll not be talking about the story in detail from end to end, but I'll give the gist of those stories that they had shared by themselves or they had shared in this particular book. But more importantly, I'll spend time in terms of what is the big takeaway, what is the life-changing idea that that story is telling us, and how, in a smart way, in a more effective way, we can apply those ideas or those learnings into our life so that we can change our life, so that we can succeed our lives by design, not by default. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to park here for a moment and take your permission to share about a very, very important thing that I wanted to share. Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am truly inspired by the way I'm getting response to my videos, the live shows, and the reels, especially that I had been sharing on how to succeed in life. Recently, the kind of response I'm getting in the last 1 or 2 months is amazing. I never even thought of. Let me be very honest, I never thought that this kind of response can come. And there has been lakhs of views. And ladies and gentlemen, why I'm even talking about views? Am I running this show to have views? No. I am again repeating, am I running this show to get views? No. The answer is big, big no. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to again spend one time why I am doing this, why I am doing what I am doing, why BookFlix Live. All of you know, I'll just take a few seconds to talk about it. All of you know my journey. It is all in the public domain. I started from a remote village, very beautiful, very nice, sweet, remote village, wherein the actual comfort and convenience of modern life was not available in our time. I had to walk for 8 kilometers every day to reach my school on muddy roads. After coming back, I used to take care of hundreds of cows of the village. I had financial problems. My parents didn't have any source of income. That's where I started, and I reached to the level of a corporate success, a vice president in the corporate. Dear friends, I achieved this. Ladies and gentlemen, I achieved this without any proper guidance. I didn't have any guide or mentor throughout this journey. Because of not having any guide or any mentor throughout this journey, I did a lot of mistakes. I had lost a lot of time. I have lost a lot of energy. At times, I had lost confidence about myself. I have lost a lot of money. I have gone through many pain in a very, very severe condition. I had gone through depression. I could have almost ended my life. But thank God I could rescue myself from each of those moments and I could progress in life because of maybe my endless, seamless efforts to move forward in life, because of my dreams in life, maybe because of the love and support of the universe, my team and my people, my well-wishers. Somehow I was able to move forward in life and reach till this level. And by the grace of God, I believe that I'm just in the beginning of my journey and my journey continues. But the point I'm trying to make is that I could have failed. There has been many moments where I could have just failed. I could have said that, hey, bro, the game is over, stop. I could have ended up becoming a failed person in my life. And when I look around today's youth, today's youngsters, today's people who are in the mid-career level, who are in the advanced career level, I can see that the same scenario is there in their lives. And the more painful reason is that many of them are failing in their careers or on any field, wherever they are, because they are not having the right guidance. They don't know that what they are doing is wrong. Or even if they are doing the right thing, they don't have the clarity, they don't have the assurance and confidence that what they are doing is right. Because of that, they don't have clarity, they don't have the confidence and the conviction. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do something without conviction and confidence, most likely you are going to derail. You are going to be derailed. You're going to fail in your career. I don't want those things to happen to today's generation and future generation. I don't want the people to go through the same kind of pain that I had gone through in my life. I have gone through those pain. Yes, somehow I have been able to rescue myself and achieve this level of success. I want to continue. But I want to say that it is enough. I don't want the future generation to go through the same kind of a pain. I want them to save their time, energy. And I want them to have a platform wherein they get the guidance and the mentorship to tell them that what they are doing is right, or this is the best way, or this is the wrong way. And more importantly, I want to make sure that they're getting the guidance and mentorship from the best of the persons, those persons who have achieved success in their life, who have traveled the path that they want to start now. And ladies and gentlemen, they are the fittest mentors. Who can be a mentor? Who can be a guide? A mentor can be those people who have already traversed the path before you, who have reached there where I want to reach or you want to reach. They are the best people to tell you that this is the best way or this is the wrong way. This will help you to save your time, save your valuable energy, and also give you the conviction and the confidence saying that what you are doing is right. You are on right track or you are on wrong track. They can show you the right path. They can show you the best path. They can also warn you that you are not on the right track. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my purpose. And a person like me will not do this, let me tell you. There may be many people, there are, of course, many people who have achieved much better than me, probably. But there will be very few. But there will be a lot of people who have achieved much better than me, who have done a lot of better impact in their lives or around people around them. But the point is not that. The point is those people will not give these ideas or these platforms free of cost. I'm doing this free of cost for you for a reason. Those people, there are many people who are much better, much smarter, much more successful than me. But they will do for money. They will not do this for free. I'm not saying they are bad or I'm good. I'm saying that I have a purpose. There is something inside me, within me, which is wanting to help you. And I want to help you. I want to do this going to any extent. Some people, maybe I'm already doing the coaching. I'm helping people to turn their passion into prosperity. I'm charging them. I'm charging a lot of money for them. But for my people, those people who would like to achieve somewhere, those aspiring people, even a lot of people, maybe they don't have that kind of money. But I want to create this platform wherein I'll share my learning from my life experiences, the lessons I learned from my life, because I have done a lot of mistakes. I have gone through mistakes. I have gone through a lot of setbacks. I have gone through a lot of successful moments. And each and every moment has a story. Each and every moment had given me a lot of powerful learnings. I don't want to leave those learnings. I came to this world without anything. I came to this world naked as a baby, and I will die without carrying anything. What I have got from this world. But whatever I have got, those important, valuable learnings that I have got, I want to make sure that before I die, I share with this world so that I leave at least one or two people with some learnings. I'm able to maybe give a little bit of small element to their lives to live better, to achieve success by design. And if, my dear friends, when my vision at the moment I will not say vision, I will say mission. When my mission at the moment is to reach 1 million people, to touch 1 million lives, in terms of helping them to achieve success by design. So far, I have been able to touch already close to 1 lakh, I think more than 1 lakh, more than 2 lakh people so far. So 8 lakh more. Maybe in the next 2 years, I'll try to reach that. When I am able to reach so many people, probably all of them will not be transformed. All of them will not be able to get a kind of value that I want to give them. Getting something or actually making use of what you get is something else, right? So if I am in this effort, if I am able to help at least few people, one people for that matter, or 10 people for that matter, or 100 people for that matter, to change their lives, or to give a element to change their lives, my job is done. Whatever I have done, I think I have got the return of that, the value of that. This is what I believe. I have worked with over 4,000 job career professionals, sharp people. I have worked with over 1 lakh entrepreneurs, starting from small entrepreneurs to big entrepreneurs. My dear friends, when I had been working with them to help them, I have got a lot of learnings from them, because many of them are much more successful people than me. Probably I was helping them when I had been mentoring them. I was helping them to improve on some part of some important niche of his life. But overall, if you look at as a life, probably when you look at their profession as an overall profession, probably they are much more successful people than me. That's why I learn from them. And ladies and gentlemen, why we learn from only successful people? We can learn from small those small entrepreneurs also. You can learn from any kind of people. Any kind of people in this world will have, or they have, those kind of values that can help you, I would say, do better in their lives. You can learn from them as well. So having said that, I would like to request you that please share about this platform with your loved ones, with all the people whom you know, because let the benefit of this particular platform reach to every single people in this world. This is what I would like to say, because this is the call of my heart. This is the call of my soul. This is my purpose. And another request to all of you is that when lakhs of people are viewing my videos, my dear friends, this is very, very heart touching for me. Only 2% of the viewers are following or subscribing my platforms, my YouTube channel, my Facebook. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is my objective is not to increase the views or subscribers or followers. My objective is to make sure that you do not miss the next valuable topic that I'm going to talk about. I don't want you to miss the next successful people when they talk about the life-changing success formula. So please, please follow and subscribe so that you get alert whenever I'm sharing a valuable video, live show, or any other reel which will carry some of the powerful ideas. I would like to promise you that I will not share anything which doesn't have any values. Even if I'm sharing a funny video, or even if I'm sharing a joke, but I very, very rarely share jokes on my social media platforms. Any kind of things I share in my social media platforms, I would like to promise you that there will be some helpful message behind that particular sharing or post or reel, which can help somebody's life to do at least better on whatever they had been doing. This is my promise. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, let me come back to our today's topic. I was saying that I'll be sharing about uh, 3 4 powerful stories. Right? Let me start with one of the most powerful stories. Give me a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, today's show is going to be a marathon race. It is not going to be a 100-meter race. So I'll go in my own flow, but I'll make sure that I'll share in simple language, very crisp, concise manner, but I'll share about the takeaways and I'll take more time on that. The first story that I want to share is the recent one, wherein Sir Sudipto Chaudhary, Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary, had shared about his experience in Africa when he was leading as a MD of Airtel. So one incident wherein he changed or he impacted a lot of lives in Africa, for which he has got appreciation from the president of that particular country. He was talking about the incident wherein he was posted newly in Africa as a MD. I think few months gone there. There was this tragic, life-taking epidemic called Ebola, which started spreading across the country, killing a lot of people. And if anybody is infected with this particular epidemic, he is about to die. I think majority of the people who had been impacted or affected by this particular disease could not save their lives or could not survive. And that was the situation. And since our head office of Bharti Airtel is in India, it is Indian originating company, a company originated from India. The leadership of the company advised Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary that all the people who had been posted out there, all the people of India being specific, who are posted in Africa can return home if you wish, if you feel that it is a threat to your life. It is your choice. Right? And at that moment, what he was saying is that, a lot of calls are coming, the leadership from India, his family, of course. Say, suppose if, try and just put yourself in that situation. If I'm in Africa, I'm working there, I had gone there newly, and there is this epidemic in this country, and a lot of people are dying every single day, and people do not have a proper medicine to this particular epidemic all at that time in that country. What will my wife, what will my parents, tell me? They will, of course, tell me that come back. Once the epidemic is over, you can go back. Isn't it? So anybody will experience this kind of advice from our loved ones. So he also naturally had this particular advice coming from his parents or his family, and even from the leadership of the country from India. And it was a moment wherein he had to take a decision. It was a moment wherein anybody would have gone through fearfulness, isn't it? Anybody would have gone through a condition of fearfulness, and immediately they would have thought that, I think 99.9% people would have thought that, I will go back, I'll save my life. When the question of saving my life comes, no compromise, isn't it? Anybody would have gone through this kind of a decision. But Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary, he is also a human being. He would have naturally gone through this kind of a feeling that I should immediately return home because I need to save my life. If I die, what will happen to my, I would say, family members, my loved ones? So that was the moment he had to take a decision. It is a moment wherein the behavior of fearfulness, the emotion of fearfulness is predominantly working in the mind. right? And then on the next day, what he did, he decided that he will stay back there. He will stand by his team and he will fight this epidemic for the sake of his team. He will fight for the people of that particular country. And that is exactly what he had done. And he was able to make sure that not a single team member of Airtel, forget about the team members, not a single family member of the team of Airtel in that country was infected by this particular epidemic, Ebola. And he went to the president of the country and he told that this is what I have done, and this is the best formula to stay uh, unaffected from this particular life-taking epidemic. And the same formula was applied, replicated across the country, and the country could turn around that situation. The country could make sure that that particular epidemic was handled, navigated through, and they went out from that particular phase. A lot of organizations like WHO or many other social organizations, right, and the government of Africa, they worked hand in hand on this idea of Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, he could get the appreciation of the president of the country. What are the learnings? Why I'm sharing this story? Let me come to the learnings. Because learnings are more important. Those learnings are going to make the difference in our lives, right? BookFlix Live is all about that. Once again. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not only seeing the learnings. In fact, I would say that I am seeing some jadoo ki jhadi in this particular story. I am seeing those Brahmastras, at least two Brahmastras I can see in this story. Can you, in your wildest imagination, also think that a fearful situation, a situation is fearful, as fearful as the situation wherein you are going to lose your life. That level of that degree of fearfulness can be transformed into fearless execution. Fearfulness transformed into, I would say, fearlessness, unstoppable fearlessness, unstoppable action, and changing your own life. Look at this. Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary, had he gone back to India, he had every reason, all the support, all the justifications, all the valid logics and reasons to go back to India, because it was life-taking epidemic. Every single on this earth, every single citizen of this world has a right to protect ourselves, our lives, isn't it? Did he also? Sudipto Chaudhary also had that same right. He could have gone back. Had he gone back, ladies and gentlemen, he would not have got the recognition from the country of Africa, from the senior, I would say, from the leadership of the country. He could create that impact on the people of the, it is not only about the appreciation from the leadership of the country. The real, I would say, achievement is the kind of impact he was able to create to the humanity. Anybody can harm anybody's life if somebody wishes. But ladies and gentlemen, saving a life is priceless. And Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary could save lives of many, many thousands, probably. Ladies and gentlemen, ये पुण्य का काम है. Is a real karma, I would say priceless karma that he has done, which he is going to get the benefit sometime from somewhere else in his life, in a positive way, much better way. The appreciation from the head of the country or from the leadership of the country is very small compared to the kind of service he has done to the humanity, isn't it? So In his case, the situations, a fearful situation, and the degree of fearful was so high that it was life taking for him. Anytime he could have lost his life. From that level of fearfulness, the same situation, nothing has changed. Ebola was there, Africa was there, his job as a MD was there. Nothing has changed. And that fearfulness to that degree was always there. And the same fearfulness was converted into fearless action the next day. And he impacted so many lives. Not only impacting, he saved so many lives, thousands of lives. Just think about it. He going back to India, returning home, staying safe, and staying there, saving so many lives. Just look at the kind of difference. Don't you call this as a turning point of life? Don't you call this as a life-changing, powerful experience or idea? So, how to change from a fearful situation to a fearless situation? Turn your fearfulness to fearlessness. This is Brahmastra. What is the Brahmastra? Mr. Sudipto talked about it. Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary mentioned about it. Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary said that his purpose was very clear. Ladies and gentlemen, there may be many other stories of purpose acting as a weapon in your life. But I think this is one of the most powerful example or real life story wherein the person who did this, who executed this particular action by himself was telling in this show. This is one of the finest examples available, I would say, across the world. When you talk about your purpose acting as the driving force in your life, wherein a fearful situation was magically converted into a fearless execution and impacted so many lives. Can we park for a moment, reflect upon your lives, ladies and gentlemen? Look at your lives wherein probably you had gone through some situations wherein your fearless feelings or fearless thought was overwhelming into your mind. And you were, in some cases, maybe you were able to take a decision to move forward and go ahead and take the action. Or in some cases, maybe you gave up. Maybe you can reflect upon if you have went ahead and took the action, what was the driving force behind it? Was there a purpose? The purpose may be your mother or your loved one, maybe your son or daughter or your dream, your dream about achieving something, impacting lives, going somewhere. Reflect upon this. And let us start a habit. I would like you to just note on a notepad, what are the 3 learnings from this particular story? What are the 3 learnings from this particular story of Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary, wherein he transformed fearfulness into fearlessness and impacted so many lives? And look at your life. In the next 3 years, what are the situations wherein in your life you want to implement this? And how you want to implement this? And what is the purpose? 3 things on your personal life, 3 things on your professional life. Let us take 2 minutes on this. I'll just play this video, music, and just work for 2 minutes, and then I'll come back again. Thank you. So let's come to the next story. The next story which I wanted to just take is, maybe I'm going little slow, probably. It's already 12 now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go little faster from here. So the next story which I wanted to just pick up here is the way Mr. Uh, you know, John McEnroe, who is an excellent tennis player of his time, and who was doing a lot of records, who was setting a lot of records, and who was the epitome of tennis game of that particular time. And one of the problem he had was the anger, the inability to control his emotions. When he was at the highest peak of his career, when people were coming to just watch him actually playing his tennis in such a beautiful manner and setting records and winning games, at that moment his emotion was on the other side, on exactly the opposite side. Whenever the empire was probably taking a slightly questionable decision, he was just shouting at the empire and he was not listening to the empire. How a player can do that? And on the other hand, if there is a bad comment from any audience or something, he was just throwing the racket. That was the level of anger he had. I mean, he was just beyond the level of being able to judge himself whether he was doing is right or wrong. So that was the kind of situation wherein he was demonstrating or he was playing from his negative emotions. Ladies and gentlemen, that has actually costed him a lot. That had costed him penalties. That had costed him, losing a lot of games, a lot of matches, and after that, slowly, it costed his career, I would say. And so, a person of that kind of emotional volatility could control himself, and he turned into a successful broadcaster wherein he was very peaceful emotionally and he completely transformed his life, isn't it? So again, if you look at your lives, if we look at our lives, there are many moments where we are not able to control our emotions. Most of the time we are angry, we are very upset, we are depressed, we pile on to others and start screaming at others. And one thing what we do not realize is that particular behavior causes a lot of damage. It may cause some damage, it may cause some damage to others, but the biggest of the damage that we are causing is to our own lives. Yes, anger is the kind of behavior it causes, which causes a lot of damage into our own lives. More than the kind of damage, we might think that for a moment I have shouted at that particular person, I'm dominating that person. Maybe it is giving some chemicals in our brain. It is helping for a moment maybe to feel great about it, to feel big about it. But believe you me, that is spoiling my own life more than the kind of damage I am doing to the other person. It's very important that we take control of our emotions, we stay calm and peaceful. Then you will say that, we all know it. What is new about it? The problem is we are not able to control our mind or control our emotions. How? The $1 million question is how we control it. So here, Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary and Mr. Joaquin Birze, they had done a detailed research on this. After doing a long research, what they had found is that taking control of your anger, on one way, taking control of your anger is taking control of the damage that you will cause into your life, the damage on your own peacefulness, calmness, the damage on your joyfulness, the damage that you will do on your wealth, on your property, on your career, on your personal relationships. It will damage all of them in your life. So, in other words, it is damaging your life, it is spoiling your life. Anger is equivalent to spoiling life. Whose life? My own life. So, the best learning is that, the biggest learning is that anger is equivalent to damaging my own life. As simple as that, bottom line. But how do you take control of this? The bigger question. How do you control of this is some research on which Mr. Sudipta Chaudhary and Mr. Joaquin Birze, they have gone through in detail. And what they has come down to after a lot of long research is that it comes down to 3 seconds of taking control of yourself. Counting 1, 2, 3. Take a pause. When you are really, really angry, take a pause. Take a long breath. Take a deep breath. Count 1, 2, 3. It's so simple. But doing this may be very difficult. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start practicing this. Let's start practicing this from today. That whenever we go through any situation wherein we feel angry or we are emotionally out of control, let's take a pause. Let's take a long breath. Let's take a long breath. Let's count 1, 2, 3. Maybe let's do this for 3 times in that situation. Somehow find a reason, find a bahana to just take a pause and count 1, 2, 3, take a deep breath. My dear friends, 99% of the cases, you will be take control of your anger. It may be very, very simple, a very simple activity, very funny activity for that matter. But this simple, small activity can change your anger, your emotional outburst. And as I said, if you're able to take control of your anger, you're able to take control of your life. Don't you want to do that? Don't you want to regain that power of taking control of your life, taking charge of your life? Live your life by design, not by default, not by chance. Just think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I will quickly touch upon another very powerful story. It is not actually a story. It is an example. It is actually not a story. It is an example that was cited by Mr. Sudipta Chaudhary and Mr. Joaquin Birze. And I will end with this particular story with the learning, with the takeaway. And I will also quickly share about a powerful learning, powerful story from my life out here. And that's how we will conclude today's episode. And in the next episode, what I will do is I'll share exactly the framework. I'll take a screenshot of the framework which has been presented by this book called Life Without If, and I'll actually discuss about the framework. Today I have shared about some of the powerful stories shared in that particular book, stories of Mr. Sudipta Chaudhary, stories of maybe some of the great people like John McEnroe, and with this story I'll conclude. Next episode we will talk about the framework. So the story which I am referring to here is that Mr. Sudipta Chaudhary and Mr. Joaquin Birze continuously talks about one thing: cycling as an example. Cycling, in every concept that they have talked about it, the positive ifs and the negative ifs, they have talked about it. Cycling is an example they come back to again and again, and they refer some learnings or concepts out of it, big learning out of it. So the metaphor of cycling as an activity is something which has been made hero in that particular book, and it deserves that. So one of the learning that I wanted, I loved is they say that They say that when you are just putting pressure on the pedal of the cycle, when you are just continuously moving, your cycle is in your control. Maybe the balance of the cycle is maintained and you are moving ahead in life or in your journey. The moment you stop, putting pressure on the pedal, the moment you stop doing that, what happens? The cycle falls. Life is also like that, is what he was saying. The moment you stop moving, you fall, you struggle, or you fail in your life. In order to keep progressing in life, you need to keep moving, whether it is a bad condition, bad environment, bad road, or good road, you need to keep moving. So, what he was referring to is that don't get impacted by the surroundings, don't get impacted by the external conditions. External conditions will change. Sometimes it will be good, sometimes it will be bad. Sometimes the road will be good, sometimes the road will be bad. But once you have decided about your dream, your destination, where you want to reach, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. But your destination should be aligned with your destination, or your vision, your goal should be aligned with your gifted talent, the job that you do better, the work that gives you a lot of inner joy. That is the kind of, I would say, skill or a talent in which direction you should set your goal in your life. So here, I'll not take more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I'll quickly share about a very powerful real life story of mine, which has actually transformed my life, which has given me the inspiration or the inner strength to take any kind of big challenge in my life. It happened in my childhood. I had shared in some videos in some places here and there. I don't know whether you had gone through it. Let me quickly share about that particular experience. It was when I was of the age of about 18, 19. I was just reading a book by the side of a river, our beside our village. On the back side of our village, there is a beautiful river called Sonai River. Uh, you know, a beautiful river called Sonai River. And nowadays, the river somehow, the body of the river is little bit becoming smaller. Somehow, I don't know, it is changing. But in our childhood, we used to sit there. We used to, take care of our cows or our buffalo that we had by the bank of that particular river. And what I used to do most of the time is that I used to take care of my buffalo out there, and I was just sitting over the buffalo. It's a nice experience, ladies and gentlemen. I used to sit over the buffalo, on top of the buffalo, and buffalo was just, grazing. It was just, having food, the green grass by the bank of that particular beautiful river. And sometimes I used to read over there, and sometimes without, even if I don't have to take care of the cattle, I used to just sit on the bank of the river. I used to read over there, and it was calm. It was like, very refreshing, and it was a very conducive condition or atmosphere to grasp a lot of learning from any book. I used to love reading book by the side of the bank of the river. So one day I was just sitting there. I was reading a book, and suddenly I saw, and it was a rainy season, and the river was almost overflowing. The river water was almost overflowing its banks, and it was very very wide at a time. The river body became really really widened because it was overflowing, and the water current was really ferocious. It was really really, very very out of control kind of a situation, and it was really ferocious. It was really dangerous. And I suddenly saw a boy from the nearby village. He was swam across that particular river. He just swam across that particular river, and I was surprised to see him doing that. In fact, I could not imagine, I could not believe that he could do that. I just went near him, I walked towards him and I asked him, how you could do that? It was a great thing, but it's very dangerous. And he told me that, in such a manner, bossy manner, arrogant manner, he was telling me that, hey, you never try to do this. We are born in such kind of family. Our brothers, our parents are like this, and we are ferocious. And we can do things, and we are very, very brave. We only can do this kind of things. That's why I have done this. You guys never try to do this. You will die. And somehow the way he was telling me, the message he was trying to tell me was okay, maybe very logical, very correct. But the way he was telling me actually impacted on that young mind of mine. And somehow the whole night I could not sleep. I was thinking that how can that person look down upon me like this? And somehow I could not sleep, and I decided that I will also go for this. Somehow, it was a mad idea that came into my mind. But somehow, the challenging mind inside of me actually didn't allow me to stop from swimming that river. I decided that I'll go and I'll swim across the same river in the same condition, in the overflowing condition. I went to some of my friends and I requested them to join me to swim the river so that I am not alone. I wanted to be safer. And after a lot of convincing and persuasion, two of my friends, they have agreed. And we, three of us, we crossed the river on a boat, okay? The boat of the village. There is a person who used to help people to cross over that river with the help of a boat. So we went by that boat, we crossed that particular river. We were about to come back swimming from the other side of the river. We jumped into the water together and we started swimming. After swimming for a while, the two friends, they gave up. They said that it is not possible, we are going back, because there was a river turn after swimming for maybe 1 kilometer, and the water current was really, really ferocious. It was very fast, and if you reach to the point where the river turn happened, I mean, it is very dangerous in that place. You may really die there. And we were just around 2 kilometers ahead of that. But what happens? We were trying to swim, and we were just floating downstream. And so that particular river turn was only 1 kilometer away. So we came to that point, and they went back. And I didn't stop, because I had that dream in my, I had that fire within. I had that, I would say, mission of mine that I need to cross this river. That dream, I would say, that was the purpose, probably, for me. The purpose was to prove to myself that I also can do it. That was the purpose. The mission was to cross that river. So my mission and purpose acted as a driving force. And that was fearful situation, and I transformed into a fearless execution. The same example which maybe Mr. Sudipto Chaudhary, in his case, it was much larger a scenario. But in my case, maybe in that moment, again, for me, it was life-taking. And the fearless situation was converted into fearful situation. Life-taking fearful situation was converted into fearless execution. My friends went back, I continued swimming. And when I was at the mid of the river, I was very tired, really tired. And I was not very sure whether I will be able to cross that particular river before reaching that river turn. And once I reached that river turn, I am 99% sure that I will not survive. And I was in that particular situation. And that was the point when I was about to decide about myself, what I will do, whether I go back or I swim forward. You know something, ladies and gentlemen? I realized that when I was in the mid of the river, going back or going forward was same case for me. The distance that I need to swim was the same. but why not I move forward? So what happens in life is that when you are moving ahead in the journey, your journey behind will again act as a driving force for you to move forward. It will push you to end up achieving your goal. And that exactly was the message or learning I got in this point of decision. The one the first learning was the fearful situation was converted into fearless situation, which was driven by my purpose and mission. When you have a clear purpose and mission, genuine purpose and mission, any kind of fearful situation will be converted into fearless situation for you, which will act as a driving force. It will act as that chamber behind the rocket which blasts, which gives the energy for the rocket to advance in the journey. That exactly works in our lives also. So in this case, I again look back. I asked myself, normally I swim very fast, but today I am not able to swim fast. What is the reason? So I was realizing that I was wearing a loose t-shirt which was holding the speed of my forward movement. So I took out the loose t-shirt, I threw it into the water. Okay, and then I started just swimming. And when I did that, and when I was trying to swim towards little bit, towards the downstream, and with the full force, what happens is that, for a moment I thought that then I have got new level of energy because I was just able to move forward faster than the kind of speed I was able to swim before. So then I started moving very, very fast. I was starting to swim really, really fast. I was able to advance faster. And that's how I crossed that river. And after crossing the river, I was so exhausted that I fell flat for almost 1 hour on the river bank. And the kind of joy or the kind of sense of fulfillment that I had in that moment was something which I cannot express in my words. And that actually incident reminds me that I am that challenging person. In every situation in my life ever since, whenever I face any challenging situation, that incident actually keeps inspiring me that you can do it. You are a challenging guy. In life, ladies and gentlemen, if you go through few situations wherein you had actually demonstrated this level of taking challenge or taking up the challenge and converting your fearful situation into a fearless situation, and you had moved ahead and you have achieved a big success in your life, my dear friends, that can inspire your rest of your life to take up challenge, to becoming a challenging person and achieve success. I hope today's session was valuable to all of you. Since it's almost 1 hour and 10 minutes, I think it's time for us to conclude today's episode. I hope this was valuable to you. Please write back in terms of how did you feel. Please also give your valuable suggestions in terms of how we can do better, how this platform can be taken to next level in terms of making more impact to more people, to give more valuable values to the audience, because my intent and my purpose is very clear. I want to help people by creating this platform as a mentor or as a guidance, as a guiding platform for anybody and everybody who aspire to succeed in their lives by design. It may be in a job career professional, or it may be in the business, or it may be for any field in that, for that matter. It may be a homemaker, it may be an artist, it may be a politician, it may be a public servant. Anybody who would like to achieve success by design, I think the formula or the framework for success should be available in this platform. The best possible proven framework and formula should be available in this platform. How do I make this happen? Is that learning from my experience, from my research, learning from the great people, successful people whom I know, bringing them speak about their success stories and success mantras. Or if they are not able to come here, I take this story from them and I share over here. Taking learnings from all the people who have been able to make some extraordinary work or achieve some extraordinary success in their lives in this world, bringing all those learnings and making available over here. And I go through some activity wherein I sum up all of them, connect all the dots, and present this in a very, very simple and practical framework or practical manner, so that our youngsters and all the people watching this particular platform can take the practical, implementable, real life lessons and learnings, proven lessons and learnings, and make use of that. And they achieve success by design. Thank you very much for your love and support. For today, we will conclude this session over here. I'd like to thank you very much for watching this. I'd like to thank you to all the people who are watching this live and to all the people who are going to watch live. Please share about this information with your loved ones so that more and more number of people can take benefit from this particular platform. Because I believe that every single aspiring people in this world have the right to get guidance, to get the best guidance in their lives, even if I did not get that in my life. I want to help people so that they do not go through the same pain that I had gone through in my life. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you again in our next episode on next Sunday at 11 a.m. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.